Call the Damn Leads, the show by sales professionals for sales professionals. I'm your host, Drewbie Wilson. I've got more than 2 decades in sales, a whole bunch of crazy stories, a few sales tactics and strategies I'd like to share, but more than anything, this show is for you, the sales professional, the individual who wants to go out and absolutely dominate in your industry. This show is all about bringing you crazy stories, bringing you tactics that you can go and use for success in your own life. And today, I'd really like to tell you the story of how Call the Damn Leads came to exist. So again, my name is Drewbie Wilson. I will be your host and adventure guide on this wild world of sales stories and training in Call the Damn Leads. And essentially, the reason this all started is I came from the world of sales. Again, I have 20 years in the industry. I've sold everything from dope to insurance for your life. I have sold consulting, digital marketing. I have helped build out and consult with sales teams in just about any industry you can think of, including sex toys. So whatever you sell, there's some tactics and some trainings and some fun that we can have together. And my journey in sales and the reason this all exists is when I started and growing up, I was in the, let's call it the commodities relocation specialist industry. I was great at, if you had a need for a thing, I had a good way of going out and finding it for you. And all I asked was for a little something in the middle, as one of my mentors calls it, a tad for Brad, if you will. And, throughout the years, I realized this was not a lifestyle that I could live forever. We all know the fast money don't last, honey. And I knew that I needed to get a legitimate job. Funny enough, I started dating a fine young lady at the time who's now my wife, and turns out her father-in-law owned an insurance agency and was going to give me an opportunity because I was selling tobacco, cigars. Like I said, have sold everything under the sun. And while I was working at the tobacco shop, I got let go 2 weeks before Christmas. Owner of the shop, hey, I love you, I appreciate you, but I gotta let you go. Long story short, for another episode, there was a whole lot of tax stuff to get figured out there. So we'll circle back at on another show. But I got into the insurance industry. And I didn't know anything about insurance. I was 26 years old at the time. Probably still on my mom's insurance plan, if we're being honest with you. And I didn't know anything about selling insurance other than, hey, you're pretty good at sales. You've sold all the other things. Let's get you into a legitimate job. So I went to the training, and I don't know if any of you are in insurance, and if you are, you'll appreciate this, but they sit you down and they handed me a stack of paper and said, here's your leads. Start to smile and dial. And I was like, well, what are we doing with this? And when you're training in some of these industries, it's really just the basics of, hey, here's how you put the information in. Here's how you get the quote. Go and sell them on the thing. You don't know fuck all about any of it, but you're just going to figure it out as you go. And that's what I did. We went through 2 weeks of training. I didn't close anything in training. We went back to the agency, and they sat me down at a computer. They gave me a Polycom IP330 phone. So for those of you that have been around long enough, the Polycom game is the standard in voice over IP. And They gave me a printed out list of Excel names and phone numbers. So let's just sink that in for a second here. They sat me at a computer with a voice-over phone and a printed out list of Excel leads to call and sell insurance to. Mind-blowing. Why they didn't have a CRM, why they didn't have any of this. We don't know what we don't know. So in the journey of sales, this is what this show is all about, to help you understand the little things that will help you get better. So as I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this big old stack of papers and a phone with no headset even, I said, well, here's what I need to do. I got to get organized. I walked down to the Dollar General. I grabbed me a couple of full throttle energy drinks, some highlighters, red, yellow, and green, a ruler, and a pen. And I sit down and I started smiling. I was calling the damn leads. And that's what I did for almost 5 straight years. I picked up the phone every single day and I called those damn leads. And it got to a point where I was one of the number 1 producers in our market, for our agency for sure, was winning lots of awards. We got to go on all these fancy trips. And I reached a point where I realized, though, that no matter how many leads I called, I still needed more. So I developed a real desire to understand, okay, if I'm calling 50 leads and I'm making X amount of money per month, what happens if I call 100 leads, 200 leads? I start doing the math. It's like, okay, well, for sales, the best thing I can do is go and learn how to get more leads, get more people to talk to. I increase the number of contacts, I increase the number of closes, I increase the number of dollars in my bank account. It's basic math, people. So I go online, and I'm looking around, and I want to learn marketing. Because I'm seeing all these insurance agents at the time that are on these Facebook groups, and they're talking about, you guys are idiots, you're paying $25 a piece for leads. We learned this PPC advertising with Facebook, and we're getting leads for $2, $3, $5. And I went, that's what I need. I need that right there. How do I get the cheap leads that are exclusive that I can call and sell? I'm great at sales, right? Let me call the damn leads and get paid. Call up this company, says, hey, I want to do business with you. I want to learn this marketing. I want to figure it out, and I want to dominate in my marketplace. And they're like, cool, man, it's going to be $1,500. And as a sales guy at the time, I'm going to be real honest with y'all folks, I didn't have $1,500. I was just a paycheck to paycheck sales dude trying to figure it out. I did not have $1,500. But I went to the agent that I work for and I said, hey man, we're spending a couple grand a month on marketing. I'd like to go and buy this course so I can learn how to do it. What do you think? And he's like, hey man, I don't really have the $1,500 to spend either, so gonna have to just go back there and call the damn leads. So I go out there, and I pick up the phone, and I call the company back. And I go, all right, guys, here's the deal. I don't have $1,500, but I'm going to put it on a credit card. I just need you to promise me this is going to work. Like, am I going to get there? And the guys, oh, man, you're too late. You missed it. Somebody else took your spot. Sucks to be you, dude. And I took that to heart. Like, what's that Michael Jordan meme? And I took that personally. And it was one of the greatest things that ever happened to me because it led me to finding out that when you learn marketing and you learn how to generate your own leads, it literally gives you the ability to write your own paycheck in sales. Because now that you have leads, you can call the damn leads and you can get paid. One of the things I know is most sales professionals, they struggle to go out and meet new people. And it's literally the one thing that's going to help you make more money. So I go online, I learn marketing, and I start figuring out how to build Facebook ads and sales funnels. And again, these are all things that we'll talk about in future episodes, but I go in, I spend $200 on a course online. I start implementing the software. I build my first sales funnel. I put up my first Facebook advertisement. I spend $500, and I generated 250 leads. Exclusive, just for our agency. I started calling those leads, and I doubled my production in a single month. And it was the wildest experience I've ever had. And for those of you that are listening, you've ever had an idea and you've put it to work and it's gotten you the result or exponentially more than you thought, it was that moment for me. And I went, holy smokes, this works. And the most beautiful divine timing of God of this whole series is I get a call from some of the other agents in our area, and they're like, bro, what the hell are you doing? You're the like one of the top guys, and you just doubled your production and made us all look like shit. What are you doing, and was it legal? Because, of course, everybody wants to question when you start having success and doing good, is what you're doing legal? Because they always want to make an excuse to why you're having success and they're not, and whole nother story for another day. But they're going, hey, man, I want that. How do we do that? And I'm excited, and I'm going, hey, I learned this marketing. I learned how to do these things. And you set up Facebook ads, and you build these funnels, and it's this, and this. And they went, bro, I don't have time for any of that shit. How much for you to set one up for me? And this big light bulb went off in my head. And I went, well, shit, man, I don't know, like $2,500. And in one weekend, I made nearly $10,000 building sales funnels and setting up marketing campaigns for some other insurance in the area. Craziest weekend of my life. I realized, holy smokes, I've got a skill set here. So I started a marketing company. And this is where Call the Damn Leads really comes into life, because I'm getting leads for myself. I've got some clients that are paying me to get leads for them. Things are working, so I start expanding, and I start this another side hustle, right? If you're here, you may have a side hustle or 6. Let me encourage you to get focused in on your main hustle until it makes you $1 million and then move to your side hustle. But I start this marketing company and we get a couple of clients, and some of them are doing great. Others are complaining that things aren't working. And one of these clients is in the real estate industry, and he pays us, I think it was $1,500 a month at the time, to set up his ads and to run traffic. And he asked us to set up an advertisement to run traffic to a condo that he's looking to sell, right? He's a listing agent on this condo, and he's putting it out there for sale, and he wants us to drive traffic and get leads for it. Me and the team, we set up the ad, we start running traffic. I think we got somewhere between, 50 and 60 leads or something like that for this property. About 2-3 weeks in, I'm reaching out to the guy to check in, do our normal service call, and he's like, well, these leads are shit. Nobody wants it. Like, I don't think this works, man. I might want my money back. Like, what are we going to do here? I was like, well, that's strange, man. That was an awful lot of leads for a listing. You're sure none of them were any good? And he's like, man, those were trash. I didn't get anything out of any of it. So I'm like, all right, cool. Pick up the phone, start smiling and dialing, and guess what happens? People are actually interested in the property. They want it. They're like, hey, where do I send a contract? Who do I make an offer to? What's the next step here? So I take all this information down. I put it in my notebook. I get the emails of the people for the contracts, and I reach back out to the client, and I say, hey, Mr. Client, here is a list of all of the people who are ready to send a signed contract to purchase the property ASAP, as well as another half dozen or so who are interested in what other properties you have available, along with a receipt for a refund in full of your services this month. The best advice I can give you, sir, is to call the damn leads. And that's it. That is the origin story of Call the Damn Leads. And I thought to myself, man, this is the true story. I have some other friends in marketing, and I'm having a conversation with them, and I'm talking to them about this like refund that I just had to give, and they're like, man, you're right. If all of our clients would just call the damn leads, they'd have a lot more success, because the ones that do, they make money, and the ones that don't, well, they complain the most. And there you have it, folks. My goofy, silly ass said, that's hilarious. I need to go put that on a t-shirt or, put it on something and sell it to people because it is the truth. And anyone who's in sales will understand what this means. And that was approximately 3 years ago. 3 years ago, in 2020, I had this crazy idea to, trademark Call the Damn Leads, to put it on a t-shirt, and to start this movement because I know in my own life, the secret to my success comes down to nothing more than a willingness to pick up the phone, call the damn leads, and help people. Because that's all sales is. It's just picking up the phone, having conversations, and being willing to serve and to help people solve their problems. So if you're here today and you're listening to this story and it resonates with you and you feel as though you've been in the sales industry and you know that this is the key to success is calling the damn leads, but you also know there's community, there's opportunity to share stories and to help each other, because I have no doubt that if you're here listening to this show, you've also had someone in your life who took the time to pour into you, to mentor you, to offer you some sort of ideas or strategies to be more successful in your sales journey. And that's why I'm here. I literally just want to pour into the community. I want to help you be more successful. Anyone you know in this industry, become more tactical, become more successful, and make more money. Because here's the real truth. We all know how to make money. You go out, you do a thing, you get paid. The most valuable asset that you have is your time. And if this show can help you save time or compress time and avoid the headaches and the common issues that all sales professionals deal with on their journey, well then everything about this is exactly what I want it to be. And more than anything, I want you to know how grateful I am for you taking the time to be here, to follow the show, to follow the movement, to share it with your friends, family, and anyone you know in the sales community. With that said, hit subscribe, share the show, come back and see us, because I'm going to be bringing on some of the coolest, craziest sales guys and stories you're ever going to hear. We're going to share the secret insider tips and tricks to being successful in sales. And more than anything, if you have an amazing sales story, if you have a story of success or some crazy situation that you survived in the sales industry, I'd love for you to be on and share that. Go over to callthedamnleads.com/podcast. Read the notes, send me your information. I'd love to connect with you and learn more about how we can put your story out there, because here's the truth. There's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in sales, and there's a lot of greatness that comes out of serving the community, and that's what we're here to do at Call the Damn Leads. We'll see you guys on the next one.